Mr Deputy Speaker, look, this is a really important debate because the NBN is critical to our future. We are operating in a global environment, and if our telecommunications are not of world standard, we will not be able to compete, and that is particularly critical in Western Australia. We see that with the mining sector mining boom winding down, unemployment ratcheting up, that we need to have a diversification within our economy. We need to move to 21st century jobs, and we need the digital infrastructure that underpins that. But despite the endless rhetoric that we get from the Prime Minister about technological innovation and agility, we are failing the future with our substandard attempt at a national broadband network. Now, my electorate of Perth is pretty much a microcosm of how this government has not only trashed the real NBN, but failed in its own second-rate version. Now, when the Prime Minister announced broadband, its one saving grace was supposed to be that relying on the degraded copper network and delivering only 20th century speeds, it might have been an inferior product, but we're all going to get it a lot quicker. We're all going to get it by the end of 2016. So sooner was one of the taglines for the Coalition's broadband. Now let's see how that's played out in Perth. Now I want to talk first of all about the Bassendean exchange. Suburbs Ashfield, Bassendean, Beachborough, Eden Hill, Kiara, Lockridge, Morley. They're all on the schedule when the Labor lost government in 2013, and they were set to receive fibre to the premises by 2014. And the preliminary work had all been done. We'd upgraded. We'd spent $2 million upgrading the Telstra exchange, so it was all ready. Yet we noticed in 2014, when the first rollout plan came from this government, something was missing. None of those suburbs had been included on the rollout. Now, we then campaigned very strongly about this, and lo and behold, the next year they were put back onto the rollout. But now they're going to, the very earliest that they will be seeing this start is the end of 2016. That will be the start of construction, and we know how lousy the copper infrastructure is in those suburbs. We know how the voice calls drop out when it rains, so we know that the likelihood of this being in place even by 2017 is very unlikely. So it's later, slower and more expensive. Now, we go to our next set of suburbs, even closer to the CBD, those that operate out of the Maylands Exchange: Bedford, Maylands, Embleton, Inglewood, Naranda and Dianella. NBN isn't even a distant light on the horizon. Now, despite sitting on the lowest band for broadband quality in the nation, these suburbs aren't on the 3-year rollout. Now, I'll let the residents tell you about the situation in their own words. First of all, Sheila Pretzel from Bayswater, she says, the section of Bayswater where I live does not have internet access, period. This means that residents must use Wi-Fi dongles, and the reception is hit and miss. It means no Netflix, no updating of Blu-ray software, no ability to use the smart system link to MyAir, etc. It's like living in the 1980s. This is Maylands, the land of the mullet. Betty Wong from Bedford tells us, though the exchange is diagonally 100 metres across from our house, we are unable to access iiNet, Naked or ADSL2+. Bayswater resident Scott Overhue says, people don't believe me when I tell them that a YouTube video still buffers at the lowest definition they have. Unfortunately, I live in Bayswater, and with 9 new residents in my street with infill, it just gets slower and slower. And Anne Blake from Dianella, she says, looking at the maps of the rollout in the eastern states, I sometimes wonder if Western Australia is treated as an afterthought. Sadly, when the rollout is completed, we will still have a second-class system, which no doubt will feel the strain of more and more demands being placed on it. This isn't a niche issue. Our campaign over the past 2 years has proved one thing. Nothing arouses the passions in the electorate more than missing out on the 21st century technology we need for our future.